Some great comments coming in here. I really appreciate all these comments. I've never seen so many comments on a live stream. We've got Nine Tails says, censorship is wrong. It's an invasion. We need better leadership. Brian Rose for mayor. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Elizabeth on Instagram says, quote, I am a content moderator on a digital platform. Censorship is real, more than people think. Wow, that's chilling, Elizabeth. Please send me a direct message on email. I want to talk to you more. Some other great things coming out here. Paul HW says, hitting the nail on the head. Brian Rose. Hendricks says, censorship is like telling a man he can have meat because a baby can't chew it. I love that concept, you know? Again, you should allow an adult who almost by definition has sovereignty over their own body to make the choices. Really important. Akasha says freedom of speech all the way. Johnny Riding says, yes, information should not be censored. I couldn't agree with you more. Hysteria says, I want the choice to make my own decisions. Of course you do. Grant on IG commented that adults should be able to digest any information they feel is of value. I completely agree. Martine says, quote, we need an honest global news that shares the evidence truth, not a nefarious official narrative. Helen Prince says, asks if we can have freedom and autonomy for all. Thank you for your bravery, your voice of the people. Thank you very much, Helen. I'm just doing what feels natural to me. The Happy Few says freedom of speech is essential to human survival. The Liberated Mama, great name, by the way, says yes to freedom of choice. They need to stop censorship. And Ethel Nina says, yes, we should have free access to information so we can make our own decisions. I appreciate this. And finally, Christopher Brank says, ideas can't be dangerous. Only people can be. People who are in the state of love can never be dangerous, and I couldn't agree with you more. And the funny thing about that, Christopher, is if you look at the end of all of my conversations with David Icke, he says this. He says, make decisions based out of love, not fear. And he says, make up your own mind. Don't listen to what I have to say. That's always missed a lot of times. And that's what a lot of what we're doing here is trying to suggest that let's make decisions out of love. Again, ideas can't be dangerous. And that's a super important point to make. So look, I want to make my last and third final point here, which is really important because we've got to move forward to address this issue and fight back against technology, because now I want to provide a solution. Anyone can come up with a problem. I am here to provide solutions. And that's been the evolution of myself, Brian Rose, and London Real over the past 3 or 4 weeks when we had a major shift change here at London Real. And we said, guess what? Anyone can come up with problems. Only real leaders can come up with solutions. And so instead of complaining about censorship, instead of talking about how the government should change, instead of creating our open letter, which has been signed almost 250,000 times by you, demanding the legislation of digital freedom of speech, we decided that we were going to put our money where our mouth was. We decided we were going to stop talking the talk and start walking the walk. And we said, what can we do to affect the quickest change possible? And that was to run for mayor. And that's why we made that decision. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. This is the most inconvenient thing that could happen to me right now. Okay? London Real is busier than ever, right? Our broadcasts are being watched more than ever. Our academy is busier than ever. We're making documentary films. We've got so much important things to do here, to tell the world, to broadcast, to transform humanity. Honestly, being mayor stops all that. It means I can't do all those things. But we've also decided that we need to be of service. And I can't think of anyone else that can do this job right now. And if we don't do it, who else will? Who else will stand up and lead? Not our current crop of politicians and this supposed two-party system that bark back and forth at each other and point the finger while you and I suffer. And that's why we need new blood. We need new leadership. We need a new direction for London. We need someone who's run a business before. We need someone who has stood up and fought against censorship. We need someone with new ideas that can also hold the city fiscally responsible, that can hold people accountable, and that can talk about moving us forward, getting us back to work, a proportional response to the virus, science-based decision-making, health first, education first, digital first. These are parts of our platform. These are our policies. And that's why we are moving forward with it. And again, I wrote this open letter demanding the legislation of digital freedom of speech. And that might mean breaking up our technology companies. It definitely means holding those companies accountable to respect the laws of the land they operate in. The last time I checked here in the European Union, we have a law that protects freedom of speech. The last time I checked in America, according to the First Amendment, freedom of speech is guaranteed by the Constitution. Then how come these companies can continue to violate not only the law, but our basic fundamental human rights? They do it because they're bigger than governments. We've never seen anything like our digital platforms. Google was brought before Congress recently, and I think it was Senator Ted Cruz said, Google is the most powerful company we've ever seen in human existence. It's more powerful than any company in human history, and it is controlling us, and it needs to be watched, monitored, and regulated. And I can't agree more. By becoming your next mayor of London, I can make this happen fast. By May 7th, we will already start taking measures to make sure that digital freedom of speech is legislated. And these companies can no longer censor you on any platform. And by being the mayor of London, we can make that happen faster than anything I'm doing behind the scenes, which, by the way, is taking lawsuits against Facebook and YouTube and doing all the things we're doing behind the scenes. But this is the fastest way possible. And this is one of the main reasons we are running for mayor. But also, we're also running because we're tired of watching this city of London being run into the ground by these career politicians with their vested interests and strange agendas, which only seem to be revolved around them getting elected again and again and again. And so that's why I'm running for mayor of London. This is going to be one of my cornerstone policies. I've already articulated it, and I promise to you that freedom of speech on our digital platforms will happen under my terms in office. And that's why I'm so confident that we're going to be elected, because this is something that's on everyone's mind, and I'm very excited for it.